interesting times. Today's stories. Members of Kenya's Olympic Committee are in court accused of graft. Venezuela's Olympic athletes face struggles and lack of funding. Football returns to Hasek for the first time in 7 years. Former athletes light commemorative flame to mark the 1968 Olympics. Plus, sprint legend Usain Bolt grabs double after a painful kick. And ex-NBA star Yao Ming attends a basketball friendly in North Korea. Hello everyone, I am Lynn Pence, bringing you sports stories from around the globe, and this is EBC Sports International. 7 Kenyan officials, including two-time Olympic gold medalist Kipchoge, was charged on Monday in a scandal involving the mismanagement of funds during the 2016 Rio Olympic Games. 4 of the suspects were in court, while the others, including former sports minister Hassan Warlow and Kenyo, who headed the Olympic Committee, were charged in the absentia. Magistrate Douglas Sogati said he would issue arrest warrants against the absent parties if they did not turn themselves in by Thursday.
All accused to be released on a bond of Kenya shillings 2 million with one surety of similar amount or a cash bail of Kenya shillings 1 million. If by 6 a.m. on 18th October 2018, as referred to in paragraph 2 above, the accused will not have presented themselves to the DCI, warrants of arrest to issue immediately.
Warrior is out of the country as he serves as Kenya's ambassador to Austria. Those present pleaded not guilty and were released on bail of 1 million shillings or $9,900. The men were slapped with charges ranging from abuse of office to failing to comply with laws on the management of public funds. They cover the alleged crimes of embezzlement, the purchase of unauthorized air tickets, overpayment of allowances, and expenditure on unauthorized persons, all the amount of 55 million shillings. Graft is widespread in Kenya, with millions of dollars of public funds going missing each year, and the country was left red-faced in 2016 over graft during its Olympic campaign, which also saw athletes' team uniforms stolen by officials. Venezuelan boxers dream of going to the Olympics, but lack of funding and struggles within their federation might jeopardize their chance of participating in the 2020 Games in Tokyo.
Todos los que sabemos de deporte sabemos que la Carta Olímpica establece que hay una sola federación reconocida en el país, y la federación reconocida es la que dignamente estoy dirigiendo. Hablar de otra federación es desconocer la Carta Olímpica. Mira, hemos tenido obstáculos, como te comentaba, no pudimos ir al Mundial por temas de recursos económicos, pero sin embargo tuvimos la posibilidad de obtener los boletos con gente que está interesada en el deporte, con gente que está interesada en el boxeo y que está interesada en que los atletas sí participen.
De verdad que me plantea una meta que llega a Tokio 2020. Nos hemos estado preparando para eso, estamos recorriendo el ciclo olímpico y esperamos de verdad clasificar.
Up next, football returns to Hasek for the first time in 7 years. Former athletes light commemorative flame to mark the 1968 Olympics. EBC Sports International will return in a moment. Welcome back. You are watching Eagle News Sports International. Syrians watch and take part in a Syrian League football match in the northern Syrian city of Hasek for the first time in 7 years due to the security situation in the region. The Islamic State group controlled large parts of Hasek province, cutting access to the majority of the roads leading to the city until an offensive by US-led international coalition forces brought security back to the area.
طبعا بعد 7 سنوات من انقطاع الرياضة في محافظة الحسكة أو عن جماهير مدينة الحسكة، أصبحت البلد آمنة طبعا بجهود الجيش العربي السوري. هذا الأمن والأمان يخلينا إنه في المراحل القادمة هذه ما تأتي فرق تلعب في محافظة الحسكة كون الطرق أصبحت آمنة وفي استقرار في محافظة الحسكة. هذا من أجل رياضة الحسكة وإعادة الحياة والروح لمحافظة الحسكة رياضيا.
أنا أشهد إنه يفتحوا الحظر عن ملاعبنا، نلعب بالقامشلي، نلعب بالدير، نلعب بالحسكة، نلعب بكل المناطق هاي. هذا الجمهور المتعطش اللي عم يقطع مسافات بعيدة عم يلاقي صعوبة من يروح يحضر دوري سوري بالشام ولا باللاقية. نريد إنه هذا الدوري كمان يصير عندنا نحن كمان أعتقد جزء من هالرياضة اللي بسوريا.
Former Olympic athletes did a commemorative cauldron Friday to mark the 50th anniversary of the 1968 Games in Mexico City, a symbol of a year of turbulent times worldwide. At a moment of revolt and upheaval, the Mexico City Olympics brought the worlds of sports and politics crashing together and broadcast the collision live around the globe on color television for the first time. It was the year that Martin Luther King Jr. and Robert F. Kennedy were assassinated, a year of student protests that exploded in Berlin and Paris and spread around the world, the year the U.S. began to truly question the Vietnam War and the USSR crushed the Prague Spring in Czechoslovakia. At the Olympics, it was the year of George Foreman, Mark Spitz, Dick Fosby and his Fosby flop, Bob Beeman's leap of the century, Tommy Smith and John Carlos with their iconic Black Power salute, and so many more. Fosbury and Beeman returned to the Olympic Stadium Friday to take part as the veterans of the 1968 Games marched in formation to form the Olympic rings. Mexican sprinter Eloqueta Basilio, the first woman to light the Olympic cauldron, then symbolically relit the flame to bursts of applause. The man who organized the opening ceremony, Luis Armida, reclaimed the moment 5 decades ago when Basilio did the same. Now aged 70, Basilio, along with the other athletes, was a bit less gazelle-like, but gamely waited atop the steps leading to the cauldron as a succession of torchbearers passed the flame up to her.
It was after I had lost many times, but when I discovered this new way to go backwards, I could jump higher and I could be a better competitor. I didn't know that any other jumpers could use it. But after here in Mexico City 50 years ago, I showed it to the world, and today it's universal.
Es una experiencia increíble el volver a vivir esa inauguración de Juegos Olímpicos en donde nosotros participamos.
When we come back, sprint legend Usain Bolt grabs double after a painful kick. And ex-NBA star Yao Ming attends a basketball friendly in North Korea. Eagle News Sports International will return shortly. This is Eagle News Sports International. I am Lynn Pence. Sprint legend Usain Bolt scored his first goals in professional football Friday after starting up the front in a preseason game of Australia's Central Coast Mariners. The 100 meters world record holder, who is bidding for a professional contract, grabbed a double against MacArthur Southwest United in Sydney. 32-year-old Bolt finished with his left foot after some slack marking on 55 minutes, celebrating with his trademark lightning bolt pose. The Jamaican then capitalized on a defensive mix-up to score his second on 69 minutes before being substituted 6 minutes after with the score at 4-0. It was the first game Bolt has started since joining the A-League club in August for an indefinite trial.
No, I was just trying to remind myself to set up to get a good shot. That's all I was telling myself. As long as I got the guy off my shoulders, I was like, you know what, just set up yourself, make sure you hit the target, because that's always the key thing. So that's what I did. I just make sure I set myself up to hit the target. Well, all I can do is just do what I came out here to prove myself. All I can do. They've seen me in training. They've seen what I'm capable of. So now they need to analyze and say, all right, is he good enough for this club? And they'll determine that. I just did what I had to do, and that's as far as I can go. And it will come together. The more you play with the players, the more you'll get to know what they want, where they want the ball, where you should be when they have the ball. So I think with more time, if I continue on this journey, we'll get better.
So I bought this at the first match when we saw him come out, and I think I'll wear it all season. It's got the special number 95 on there. Pretty pleased to have the t-shirt.
And he's not the only high-profile athlete to retire from a sport at his peak and then go on to another, try and go into another sport. Michael Jordan did it with baseball. He didn't get to the top level, but he played professional. So it's not unprecedented.
Former NBA star Yao Ming attended a friendly basketball match between China and North Korea in Pyongyang and warming ties between the neighbors. The 8-time NBA All-Star is visiting the North Korean capital this week as part of a high-level Chinese sports delegation. Cho Yong-hae, one of the closest aides to North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and China's sports minister Gong Jong-wang, also watched the men's friendlies at Urong Jong-yung Stadium. Kim, an unavowed NBA fan who met former Chicago Bull Dennis Rodman several times in Pyongyang, was not present. After the match, ex-Houston Rockets center Yao Ming posed for photos with both Chinese and North Korean players. Relations between Pyongyang and Beijing have gone through a rough patch in recent years, with China backing United Nations sanctions to punish its Cold War-era ally for its nuclear activities. But ties have recently improved as Kim met President Xi Jinping in China 3 times this year. While the Chinese leader has yet to return the favor with his own visit to Pyongyang, South Korean President Moon Jae-in said this week that Xi is expected to visit the North soon. Yao Ming, at 7'6", was one of the tallest players in the NBA and became a global ambassador for the sport during the 8th NBA seasons. After he was forced into retirement by repeated foot injuries, Yao Ming continued promoting the game as now the head of the Chinese Basketball Association. This is this week's EBC Sports International. Join us next week. Visit our website at eaglenews.ph and eaglenewslive.com. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/eaglenewsph. Thank you for watching. I am Lynn Pence and I am 1 with 25.